So hidden down here somewhere below we have the engine. This is obviously just a plastic cover, so the engine is mounted, as they say, astern of the front axle, so it should be starting somewhere from here, which might be a little bit of a lie because you can see it stretches a little bit forward. So here we got it. Let's see. We started. Everybody, welcome to Road of Plenty. I'm Thomas. Welcome back to the channel for those of you who have watched the content before. Now, in this episode, I'd like to focus on the centerpiece of this car, which undoubtedly must be the 2.9 liter V6 turbocharged engine. Now, a lot has been said about this engine, and it's a lot of talk about it being Ferrari derived. Well, truth of the matter is that it was designed basically by Ferrari engineers. At that time, when the Giulia and the Stelvio, during the development phase, or in the beginning at least, FCA still owned a Ferrari, so basically a lot of Ferrari engineers was brought in to construct not only the engine but to design the chassis and everything of the car. So you can say yes that it is Ferrari derived. You know, before I bought this car, actually, when I was more interested in buying the Giulia Quadrifoglio, I was looking into the engine. I was thinking, wow, maybe it's even produced by Ferrari. It's not produced by Ferrari, but if you search for the Ferrari F154 engine on Wikipedia, you can see, it was first used in the California T, and then it came in the 488, the Lusso T, the F8 Tributo. So it's a good engine. Now this car, basically, this engine has a lot of similarities to that engine, so much that it's even in that article or Wikipedia. Wikipedia works, anyone can write there and edit it. But anyway, this 690T engine is not referred to there as the 690T engine, but it is referred to one of the F154 engines, actually, the V6 made for Alfa Romeo. So you can absolutely say that it's Ferrari derived. You know, it's got the same stroke and bore as the Ferrari V8 engine has, only it's got 2 cylinders less. It is very interesting. It is produced, it is manufactured in the FCA Stellantis now plant in Termoli on the Italian east coast, the Adriatic coast, and it's produced in the same factory as the new Maserati MC20 Nettuno engine. And if you read a little bit about that engine, you can see that one is also talk about it being derived from the Ferrari V8's same cylinder angle, you know, same angle between the two, same angle between the cylinder banks, etc. So now question is, and they say that is all Maserati product. I don't think so. I think it's a evolution of this engine, and maybe with some more exclusive parts. Of course, it's got the completely new cylinder head. It would be interesting to see if they come with a facelift on the Stelvio and the Giulia, if they could actually maybe incorporate that new Maserati Nettuno engine in the Quadrifoglio. That would be great. If you have seen the reviews on the MC20, which by the way are quite rare so far, you can hear that the engine noise is very, very similar to the engine noise of this car. So it's got a lot of similarities, and they say even there's some engine parts of the Nettuno engine have, you know, it's printed Ferrari on them and so on. It's probably the same on this car. I just hope it's not too much, because when it comes to replacing the parts, if the parts are Ferrari, it's going to be a lot more expensive. There are a lot of similarities between all those 3 engines. The F154, the engine on the Ferraris, the 690T engine in this one, and the Nettuno new Nettuno engine in the Maserati MC20. One thing that I really love about this car is that it looks the way it drives. You know, it looks exactly the way it drives. So when you see the car, when you sit down in a car before you even start the engine, you have the you understand it, or you think this is how it feels to drive this car. And this engine, especially, and the chassis, you know, makes the car feel exactly like it looks, and I love that. And you know, the engine is a big part of that. Now I'm in dynamic mode, which I'm not so often in. As I've said before, it's the gas pedal is a bit sensitive, but it's still nice. Go to race mode maybe. It's got so much power when you want it, but if you want to drive it, if you want to save on fuel or whatever, save on the environment or whatever you want to do, I know probably most of you who watch this video are not so interested in the latter, but I am. So then it's really, I mean, you cannot really say it's fuel efficient. Well, it is fuel efficient for the size and for the fact of it being a petrol car with this much horsepower. But of course, when you go down, you're not using all the horsepower, of course, when you are not pushing it. But we went on a road trip. Fair enough, we didn't go so much on the motorways. We did mostly like highway miles, like 90 kilometers an hour and so on, 90 to 100 kilometers an hour. And the average consumption on that trip was actually 8.9 liters per 100 kilometers. And I mean, it's winter, conditions. So I mean, I didn't really push it. I don't really push it normally anyway, as you might have seen in my previous videos. But anyway, it's really quite economic when you're not driving so hard. I know in a lot of reviews they said, oh, it's quite fuel. It's not so fuel efficient. Now, of course, it's not fuel efficient because in the reviews they're like pushing it all the time. They're going, revving it, to the red line and so on. But if you don't do that, the car is it's perfectly fine. Well, this versatility of the engine, being quite fuel efficient when you want it to, and being a little bit more, or being very powerful when you want it. It's got 510 horsepower, so 600 Newton meters of torque. Now, personally, I don't talk too much about torque because when I was a kid, when I was subscribing to car magazines and so on, they never mentioned torque. Torque figure, well, 600 Newton meters of torque. If you want the really torque engine, it's better to buy a diesel. I mean, it has got a lot of torque, but it's not got this low down torque as you get with a diesel. What I remember, they started talking about torque when the diesels came, when the turbo diesels came with a little bit more power, because they had a lot of torque. They had a lot more torque than could be gotten from the petrol car. So that's when all this torque talk started. I mean, I know everybody fucking talking about torque. I don't give a shit about torques. My motoring interest started when I was, a kid. With a motorcycle. I bought a 125 and Aprilia 125 when I was 16 back in '91, and that car, that motorcycle, a two-stroke motorcycle, they don't have any torque. They only have horsepower. And same thing. I had a Suzuki RGB 250 when I was 19 to 21 or something like that. It was also, doesn't have any torque. It's got only horsepower on a very, very limited range of RPM. So that's how I don't care about torque. Always good to have it. It's nothing I ever mentioned about torque. Nobody's interested to know about the torque figures. What the fuck is that torque figures? I think that was all for in today's episode. I hope you liked this brief talk about the Alfa Romeo 690T engine fitted in this car. And if there's any factual fault in this video, please just write it in the comments below, and I can, well, not edit the video, but I can make a new video about it, how wrong I was. Okay, so take care. See you around, I hope. It's been a pleasure.